That's great. Good evening. Welcome to the Employment Policy Committee of Bletchley and Fenny Stratford Town Council on Tuesday, 25th November 2025 at 7:30 p.m. We have got councillors and officers here in the room. We are also joined online by Councillor Ophelia Fernandez. I would just say that just a reminder in terms of the legislation that whilst Councillor Ophelia Fernandez is a member of this committee, because of the Local Government Act, which is very outdated and does not take into the concepts of the real world, despite changes during the COVID pandemic, and then reverting straight back to not allowing online meetings. Ophelia, unfortunately, under the Local Government Act, when it comes to voting, you are unable to vote, but I will treat you as a member of the committee and letting you join in as a member of the committee rather than as a member of the public. So just because you're online, any votes you do, you can't vote. So in the room, I'm Councillor Hakim, I'm the chair of this committee, and I'll just go around the room.
Daniel Vatamano, Councillor of Newton Lees.
Councillor Nathaniel Kelly-Wilson, I am Town Councillor for Newton Lees and also Chair of the Town Council.
Councillor Simley, Vice Chair.
Delia Shepherd, Clerk to the Council.
John Fairclough, Deputy Town Clerk.
And online.
Otelia Fernandez, Fenny Stratford.
Brilliant, thank you very much. Clerk, do we have item 1? Do we have any councillors' apologies for absence?
Yes, we do. Apologies from Councillor Ely.
That's no, we don't know that, do we? And then item 2, to approve the minutes of the previous meeting. Are we all okay with that?
Noted.
Yeah.
Approved. Item 3, to note councillors' declarations of interest in matters on the agenda. Are there any interests to be declared on the agenda? Looking around, that looks like it's a no. Item 4, public speaking. Clerk, have we had any notification for public speaking?
No representations made.
Okay. Item 5, to receive a financial management report showing expenditure against budget for the year to date on employment matters. Is there anything you would like to say to this?
No, not really. I think we're where we expected to be in terms of the year, but I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Just looking around, are there any comments at all on this question?
No.
Okay, is that noted?
Okay, Chair.
Item 6 is to receive an update report on the health and safety matters affecting staff. Do we want to? Yeah, are we okay to do that now?
Yes, unless you feel that there may be anything that you would like to discuss that might be prejudicial to the public interest. I have not written the report. It has been written by my colleague Will, and so I don't think there's anything in particular that would necessarily
Chair,
be an
I
issue.
think there was a potential legal issue on one of the.
Okay, so
If there are any questions about it, I mean, I'm happy to note, and I don't think there's anything more than what we've previously discussed. Just goes to the confidential session. But if any of the councillors have a question, I think it's had to go into.
Yes,
yeah.
it probably would. So if it's
is there anything you would like to say about the report, Clerk or Deputy Clerk?
well, it's not my report, it's from the Environment and Premises Manager, and I did ask if a bit more detail could be provided in terms of dates, but I'm afraid that wasn't able to be done in time. But I suggested that for next time, with the training dates and so on, it would be good if they were recorded in the report, bearing in mind previous decisions of yeah, there are some dates, yeah.
Are there any questions or comments on the report from members?
Chair, I just it appears that there is either an incident or a near miss in this report, kind of, quite regularly. Like, so I don't know whether there is just some general health and safety training or health and safety checklists that need to be kind of developed, gone through with the team to kind of mitigate against these issues.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, if you think about it, we've got 4 employees out on their vehicles every day, all day. And of course, there will be near misses. It's inevitable there will be some. So you can't sort of take the risk out completely. There's been quite a bit of work being done on health and safety. Will's been working very hard on that because we've got an audit, health and safety audit at Barton Road at the beginning of January. So a lot of work's been done on the risk assessments and the training. I think one of the issues, I was due to attend a meeting of the landscaping team last week, and unfortunately I couldn't make it, but I will rebook myself to meet with them. And what I wanted to talk to them about was the importance of not letting speed get in the way of safety, because I think some of these incidents, for example, one of the incidents where two of the ride-on mowers, yeah, it's the one that happened on the 24th of October. I mean, those vehicles only go at 12 miles an hour when they're at top speed. So there is really no reason why that should have happened. And yeah, I really wanted to stress to the team, I know that Will and Lee have been doing it, that we don't want to compromise safety and go too fast. But I mean, work is being done on it, and we will keep reporting all the near misses so that you see them at this committee all the time. And I suppose it's one of the unfortunate things that sometimes accidents do come in clusters, and then it looks like that quarter or whatever it is has had a particularly adverse outcome, but it's not necessarily been due to employee error. It may just be, I mean, you can't do anything about a brick, for example, that you can't see it.
I think just on this, I think when we last met, I think we said something, we made some amendments at the last full council to committee's references in terms of just whether this is something that the environment committee wants to consider in terms of their view on how the environment basis on such work in, rather than just purely it being about employees, whether they're signed there. I think that they should take that committee should take a bit of responsibility on this.
Chair, I just think there seems to be a number of incidents involving vehicles, and in my day job we've had a similar thing, and we actually did driver training, and it wasn't an expense, but actually it kind of cut down on the claims a bit, because I think people assume that people could have passed their driving test a very long time ago, picked up habits. I think it would be a good thing to look at, maybe.
Definitely, we can definitely investigate that. I mean, I think we've got the budget to do it anyway, because we've not spent all the training budget for this financial year. So that's definitely something.
Proposal?
Well, I think it's a proposal for officers to investigate and take it back to the relevant committee. But that would be my proposal, yeah.
Okay.
Well, it'd be this committee because you have control of the training budget, which is where it would come from.
Do we have a seconder? Are we all in favour of that?
Yep. Favour.
Yeah.
There you go.
Is there anything else on the report that anybody would like to bring out? Sure. Nope. In which case, we'll move on to the next item, which is item 7, to review a draft secondary employment policy and to consider its adoption as part of the council's employment handbook.
Yes, this item, the draft employment policy has been prepared by John with Kate's support, because we felt that we needed to make our policy on secondary employment more explicit. It is mentioned elsewhere in our handbook, but I think perhaps it isn't sufficiently clear for employees what the rules are. The draft policy has been prepared to seek your views on it before we submit it to Peninsula for their comments. So it hasn't been seen by Peninsula as yet, and we need to make sure obviously that it's compatible with what they think is appropriate. But we just really wanted to take your view on it I mean, we have got something in the contract about secondary employment and the fact that it's had to be declared. I mean, speaking from my own experience, I've declared secondary employment previously when I've been working for the SLCC as a mentor and so on. I've declared it, but we just need to make it more explicit, I think, and ensure that we are checking on it.
So just before I open the floor for comments, can I just ask a question of clarification in terms of the process? So if it needs to go to Peninsula, we'll then need to come back to us to formally recommend it.
I think it will, yes, but we just thought we didn't have time to get Peninsula's view before we came to this meeting, but we wanted you to have your say now, and then obviously we'll come back to you again, because I think we're going to need to agree at the end of this meeting to have another employment policy committee, or you are going to have to agree to have one fairly soon.
Okay. I'll open the floor for any comments on the policy.
No,
I think it's fair. Good to know if it's secondary.
Definitely reasonable thing, and I do like the fact you've also got things around voluntary organisations in there, etc. Particularly when things can impact on work. It's good to have a bit of a distinction between that and some guidelines.
I think so, and especially when
about the conflicts of interest
Yeah.
this round.
and it, we're thinking about the we've just been talking about the health and safety. We want to be sure that people are refreshed when they come to work and they're not exhausted from doing other things that,
Which most likely.
yeah.
Yes, it does happen. Ethan, do you have any comments?
I think we should do this.
So we'll take it, we'll just get it checked by Peninsula, and then we'll come back with any comments that they've got.
Yep.
But in principle, you're in favour of this.
I think so. So do you want a formal decision? Some sort, or
Do you?
I mean, I'll face it. The policy goes to Peninsula for review, and then following that, any comments come back to this committee. Are we all in favour?
Yeah.
Just so that it's a formal bit on the minutes. Item 8 is consider whether to exclude the public interest from discussion of the remaining items of business on the grounds that publicity would be prejudicial to public interest by the reasons of the confidential nature of the business to be transacted, which could involve discussion of personal confidential information. Are we all in agreement that we should go into private session?
Yes.
Or exclude the public interest? Clark, would you like to end the live stream? And thank you everyone for who's been joined in from home. We are going to say goodbye to you now.